Hello, my name is Veronica and welcome to the Learning Lab episode number 87, more on Spectrum Noir markers and my paper. If you saw my last video on my paper update, you'll know that I experimented with the Georgia Pacific paper, the Canson Marker Pro Layout paper, the manga drawing pad, and this Strathmore Bristol super smooth, super fine surface. But I had on order this paper. No, I'm sorry, it was not on order. I got it at a local fine arts artist supply store, and it's the Borden and Riley, and it's a paper for pens, super smooth. And while I was in there, I also picked up this Graphics 360 from Fang because it got really good reviews. Come on into the lab and let me share with you how these last two stacked up to my previous four. So before I share with you what I produced, let me show you how I got started. I use these Martha Stewart clear stamps. It's her leaf and branch set, a pretty old set. I think she had these wooden and in clear. Not sure if you can still get them anymore. But I elected to go with this particular stamp. It just appealed to me and I liked it. Now I used the Memento ink and I used the bamboo leaves, the rich cocoa, and the tuxedo black in which to stamp them. And so the one that I'm going to share with you today is the one that I stamped using the bamboo leaves, which is a really nice green color. So which inks did I use to get this going? When I got started, I went in and pulled out some colors that I thought I would like, and these are the ones that I pulled out. Now I've got to share with you that some of my colors are starting to wear off. And I said I was going to go and put something on the tip, but I've been so busy that I haven't had a chance to do so. But if you look at this CG4, you can see that it's pretty much worn away, and after a while I'm not going to be able to tell what color that is. But these are the colors that I used. I also used this TB1 to go around and give it some blue in the background, and once I did it I realized I probably should have gone with a color with more gray in it. And while I was in the fine arts store, I did pick up this Copic Sketch blender pen, only because I felt, you know, I would need another one. And right now, the Spectrum Noirs only come in packs. You cannot buy them as individuals. Okay, I know you've been waiting with bated breath, so here's what I created. I created these little beauties. And if you look from the side, you can see where I went back in with my Sakura, or as they love to say, Sakura, clear Stardust pen, and just kind of hit some of the high spots to give it a nice look. And this one happened to be on my Georgia Pacific paper. Love it. And I used the new Tim Holtz Distress ink from his spring line to go around and give it that lovely, luscious background. Now, this one was done on my Canson paper. And this is the one that's pretty transparent. You know, it's very thin paper, but I still like the way it came out. And I used some of the blue, but I also used some of the green ink to do that background. Now this one was done on the manga paper, and each one had its own unique qualities about it that I loved. And of course, you know, I love this paper, but when I went around it in blue, I was like, ooh, you were a little heavy-handed there, girl. But then afterwards I thought, yeah, you know what, I still like it. And then these, one more, this was on the Bristol paper, and as you can see, I haven't gone over it with the glitter pen. I'll do that for you on camera. Now on to the new papers that I did. This one was on the Fang or Fang. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I wasn't that happy with this. This paper was so thin that it was difficult for me to do what I wanted to do. So I, of course, have a whole packet of it, but that's okay. I'm going to keep using it, you know, because I have it, but I'll figure out another way in which to use it. And then I got to show you my new favorite. Oh my goodness. This one is the Borden and Riley paper. This paper is fantastic. Between this and the manga one, I don't know which one I like better. I know it would have helped if I'd done both backgrounds in the same color, but you can see the subtle difference. This Borden and Riley paper is whiter than the manga paper, and side by side you can see how this one is a little creamier, and then you can also see how the results that you get are just slightly different. Now, the Georgia Pacific was not shabby at all. It actually held its own, and it's a very white paper. And when you compare that to the Borden and Riley one, you can see that they are pretty comparable. But this puppy was super, super smooth. So now, what I did to get the glitter on it, and I'll use my Bristol paper for that, I just took my Sakura pen and just went along just like you would, tracing the lines, and I was able to get a nice glittery effect to my leaves. Something that's probably a little unexpected, but I thought it added a nice little punch to it. So now, what did I adhere these to? I went into my stash looking for some paper that would be complementary, and I came across some paper that I'd gotten at AC Moore, and it's from a company called Luxe Designs. And this was one side of the paper, but I chose to use this side of the paper because I felt that it just picked up the colors that I loved. And this is the Ecology Go Green collection. So what I did was I cut that paper down to size, and then I took this Martha Stewart stamp, this one, and I just stamped some leaves at the bottom in various angles. Once I got those stamped, I went back in with my water brush and some different colors of my Sakura Jelly Roll pens, Meteor pens. I even did a little bit of the souffle on some that got a little too dark. My Stardust, and just plain pens. And that's how I was able to color these in to give them a little bit of oomph. So I cut down this paper. My entire card is 5 by 7. So I did 1/4 inch increments for everything. And I cut down my black paper. And when I cut down my black paper, because I knew it was going to be layered, I didn't want to waste it. So what I did was I turned it over before I adhered it down, put it through my Cuttle Bug, and cut a black shape out of all of those backs that no one's ever going to see. So, you know, I took this from Sandy Genovese, so it's giving me more bang for my buck, and who can't use a black mat for their cards. So then I matted this onto here and decided to take a piece of black ribbon to wrap around it. And when I put the entire thing together, it came out looking like this. I was like, okay, I like it. Then the only thing I have to do now is to take my pieces that I've mounted up on foam dots, put that on, and then I also punched out a lot of sayings. I did, let me move some of this out of the way. One, ever thankful for you, just thinking of you, and I've left those in the die because I wanted to ink them using either this green or this kind of a greeny blue color that I will put just down in the corner. Here's one that I love, and it's thinking of you in prayer. Just know I'm here for you. Just thinking of you today. And when I did that, I only inked up the bottom part, and I covered this with a post-it note and took it off, and so I was able to get just that. I also have the thinking of you in prayer, and then finally, ever thankful for you. I love picking these up because sometimes they fit the bill like nothing else will. And these are all from Hampton Art, and they are a Studio G collection. Okay, I swapped out the other one for the Borden and Riley one because I just, oh my goodness, I just love it so much. But now for this card base, Becca did a Becca Bits on piecing together a 5 by 7 card base, and I followed what she said, and where you put them together, and where you had the seam, I cut another extra piece and put that on there to cover that seam, and also to give my card just a bit more stability so that when I stood it up, it wouldn't fall down. I had so much fun playing around and creating these little leaves.
Make up as many of these as you can. You'll be so glad that you did. As always, thank you for joining me in the lab today. Please remember to check out my blog at inclusions.blogspot.com. Until then.